And then as I, grew and as I started to develop that, that heightened sense that started out as defense, as I settled down and, came into a deeper understanding of my power and my desires in the world, it was easier to connect to people in a loving way. It transferred easily from a defense mechanism to an ability to love and care for people.
That's amazing, though, that you were able to process it positively.
Yeah.
How do you think you were able to, because we've talked about this before when you've talked about your mother, your father, what you learned from them. Tell us a bit about what you learned and how you were able to process it positively and engage with it rather than create a negative story from it. Because a lot of people may see violence and react differently.
I think there's always an aspect of us that when we feel unloved, in any capacity, in any relationship, when we feel unloved, when we feel mistreated, when we feel somehow disrespected, it's a natural reaction to want revenge. And I think that's what happens with most people, specifically in our most vulnerable stages when we're children. It's really hard for the ego to not click into revenge, And, once I discovered that mechanism, once I saw that most of us walk around with.
Yeah.
That, we want revenge against that mistreatment. And that's the paradoxical conflict that we all live in.
Yeah.
And most of us don't want to hear that. It's like, I'll take my chances with revenge. I'm gonna take my chances with punching this dude in the face or cussing this girl out or whatever it takes. And for me, I had such a beautiful example of loving kindness in my grandmother. I want to show what it looks like to be loving and kind and giving and forgiving.
And you hold on to it because somewhere inside of you, you feel you have to be the person to show that person the truth. Like you feel like it's your responsibility.
Yes.
And when you kind of put that in your head, you're like, oh, like that's just a plea, a begging.
A begging,
A literal, like, it's not even a proposal, it's like a demand for love.
It's a demand.
The reason why I was highlighting the personal aspect of you is that I think that the example that you're setting through who you can be is even more than what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal what you're achieving and what you continue to achieve, but being able to do that with a loving heart, that must be, I mean, how does that feel internally?